but she still ran one of the most successful companies in the country. She and her wife, Tony, were the founders of Vacate, that super popular app where users swapped houses in presumably desirable locations. B had read features about it in Essence, O, the Oprah magazine, and the Wall Street Journal in this month alone, and Ayanna herself had made Forbes 30 under 30 3 years ago. In other words, Ayanna was loaded, so loaded in fact, that she'd just bought Tony a Tesla for Christmas. She'd told B about the surprise that morning over the phone, before B revealed she'd lost Appetite's latest contract. Ever the classy one, Ayanna had shut up about the Tesla and kindly invited B out to drinks. She still showed up in a gorgeous white jumpsuit and black Jimmy Choos, though. The waitress assigned to their table had come over 3 times in the last 20 minutes, ostensibly as a show of good service. But B was willing to bet Tony's new Tesla that it was because the girl had yet to see Ayanna's ring finger. Ayanna clapped her perfectly manicured hands together. "So, tell me, what happened to that first company?" Ah, yes, the first harbinger of financial doom. B sighed, tucking a stray twist behind her ear. I don't know. She did know. That company, a high-end clothing subscription app for rock climbing bros, hated her writing. The creative director wanted grittier language, something that appealed to rough-and-tumble Wall Street dudes, his words, who wanted to blow off some steam instead of drinking whiskey at their desks after a hard day. Ayanna nodded along as B relayed the details, sipping her martini quietly. The tarot cards were still between them, the Fool and the Devil mocking B from the alcohol-soaked table, while she studiously avoided looking at Death. She really wasn't eager to learn whatever the hell that card meant. Okay. Ayanna pushed her drink away and crossed her arms. Well, that's not your fault. Joe's kind of an asshole. B tried not to roll her eyes. Of course Ayanna knew him. She knew everyone. The fact made B hesitant. She didn't want Ayanna to think less of her. They were friends, but they were also peers. In some circles, they could have even been rivals, the way some people liked to pit successful black women against each other. B glanced around at their fellow bar patrons, some of whom she recognized, and others she figured she'd meet eventually, at some work function or another. Any one of these people could tear down her reputation if they overheard the wrong thing. Suddenly, her nerves flared, and anxiety bit back the truth from her tongue. Maybe she shouldn't say anything. Maybe she should lie. But she and Ayanna had been close since college, even more so since B moved to San Francisco 5 years ago. And God, B needed to talk to someone. It's not like her sister would be keen to listen. What happened with Justin? Ayanna prodded, switching out one failed client for the next. Honestly, B sucked in a breath and swallowed her pride. I forgot. Ayanna blinked. Forgot? Forgot what? The deadline for the proposal I was supposed to send to them, about what the app would look like, what the copy would sound like, the research we'd do, etc. It was due a week ago. B sighed as she delivered the kicker, which was 2 weeks after the last deadline, before they gave an extension. B! B flinched and sank further into her seat. I know, She shrugged. She really had no excuse. Deadline reminders were written everywhere in her apartment. The bulletin board next to the kitchen sink, the litany of sticky notes next to her bed, the corkboard sitting above her desk. Beth had even texted her multiple times to remind her that her portion of the pitch was due. But for some reason, she just couldn't bring herself to do it. Every time she opened the document, the technical words her twin had already written mocked her, daring her to attempt something witty or unique. She felt choked by indecision, like every clever concept she'd ever thought of was a fluke, and that the next word she typed